Yeah.
This is a little bit different. Welcome to the little session we do at the beginning of every one of these Hatecasts. God, I have that down. It's so great to be here. This week, before we get into the topic, I just have a little bit of information for you guys. So over at www.chaosandpain.com, of course the website that is the business side of this little YouTube channel, we have a sale going on. What makes this sale interesting is it is in fact Easter. Now, what does everybody want on Easter? Eggs and cash, and that's what some people may get. So what we have decided to do is have everybody who orders between now and a certain time. I'm not quite sure on the details. I will link that or describe that in the description box below. So if you're interested in that, please go down there and read what's going on. But what we plan on doing is we plan on putting in every order a little Easter egg, right? With either a random amount of some sort of cash in there. So you could get, $1, or you could get all the way up to $100. With every single order, we're including an egg. So, something to look forward to. But now that that's over, let's go ahead and quickly, there's no intro song. Some stuff happened with my computer. Let me go into that real quick, let them know what's going on so they know what happened. So, this little sucker is a hard drive that ended up shit in the bed. So, the intro song is gone off of here. The outro song I still have. But that means that this video will not have an intro or outro just yet. I need to reacquire my editing software, and I'll get that going. So, Ryan, it's been a while.
Yep.
You are in a new place.
Yeah. Just closed on a house last night, late afternoon, early evening, and I've spent last night and all today moving.
With an entire team of people.
Break. What's that?
With an entire team of people.
Yeah, about 10, 11 people, which made it very, very easy. I started myself from my apartment, and I was like, man, 2 flights of stairs, I'm like, this really blows. And I did like an hour by myself because that storm we're having I told you about, those guys came over, and we got it all done in like 30 minutes. We drove to the house. All the trucks were unpacked in 10 minutes. It was just like that. So we still have a couple, like the couch and a couple other bigger things, but nothing really. Pretty much everything's over here. So now it's just my fiance organizing it because she knows I won't put anything where she wants. So going through all the stuff now, all that, all the not fun stuff. So, but it's worth it. We're happy. It's been a roller coaster ride trying to get this. Between the last 4 or 5 days, we were supposed to close every day, and then we didn't, and then we were going to, then we didn't. It's been a whirlwind, but I'm glad it's over. So
yeah. Now, I did want to ask you about something because off air we kind of had a conversation. I'm not being rude. I'm honestly setting a timer because I don't want to keep you too long on your move-in day. So, over the last couple of episodes that we had you on, you had an iron issue. Now, off air we chatted a little bit about you fixing that. So, what seemed to be the cause, and how did you go about that completely going away? By the way, it may just be the lighting, but you also have a lot more color on you too.
Yeah, I coach baseball. Like I've been outside a lot, but definitely when my iron got back up, like my hair started coming back a lot. Like it starting to come back. I'm doing some essential oils and stuff like that to thicken it up and get it back because that was a big issue. It was falling out like crazy. To where if I have a picture from a month ago to now, in the back of my head a month ago was like almost bald, and now it's filled back in a lot better. So that was an issue, but my folate level when this first all happened was 8. Then after the blood transfusion and then 2 iron infusions, it only got to like 14. But then I had 2 more iron infusions. I started taking an all-organic supplement for iron. And I'm not going to say that raised my levels up because there's no way it could. but I had 2 more iron infusions, and then I started taking that, and I think it just kind of maybe helped me maintain it. My folate about 4 or 5 weeks ago was up to 171. But my hair is coming back. I'm not really holding water in my legs. I feel a lot better. I actually feel pre-workout now. Before I could take a pre-workout and I just go, I'd be out on the way to the gym. My fiance like, are you kidding me? So yeah, I feel a lot better. I'm back to being like more productive. Not like it would have been so long, and we had talked about it. I didn't even realize I was like in a mental fog.
Yeah.
To where like my initiative to do stuff, or I forget, and now I'm like, okay, this is what it feels like to be normal. Like I actually want to get shit done. And it's crazy when you get used to that for months and months and months. I mean, I dealt with it for probably 9 months, and just I got used to it. To where now I'm like, oh, this is what it feels like to like be on it and like getting stuff done. And I feel a lot better, thank God, because I didn't realize at the time how shitty, I really felt. So they don't know. They don't know why. They think a viral infection, because you can get a viral infection that it can attack certain stores of your body. So it could attack calcium or, vitamin D or whatever, or vitamin B, but they feel like the virus I got, it just attacked my iron stores. And it slowly started tapering them down, where I didn't feel as crappy at first. But after that blood transfusion and 2 iron infusions, like I felt great. It spiked up. But then it started to go down hard, and that's when I could tell like something's wrong. But then I just had to get my iron stores back up and fully replenish myself, and they're hoping now I'll level out and I'll be good. So.
Yeah, well, I noticed you were back in the gym training too, pretty regularly. So
yeah, yep.
Is that going well? How are your I did want to ask that kind of, because that's something I've never really asked you. How were your numbers pre and then post iron? I mean, because I would suspect that your performance in the gym wasn't exactly up to par due to the fact that iron affects your energy levels and stuff like that.
No, I would go to the gym. It was weird because like I wouldn't really sweat. I wouldn't get a pump no matter what I took. And then I wasn't getting any stronger. I wasn't, even when I was trying to force weight, it just nothing was happening. I wasn't even like getting really that sore kind of, as much. But I will say the last 4 weeks probably now. I'm gonna get back in the gym like 3 to 4 times a week. We've been very busy with coaching. I have 2 other jobs I do. And then this whole house thing closing up here. So the last 4 weeks, I'll get like 3 to 4 days a week, and I'm not trying to gain any weight right now. I've actually tried to do a little cut, so I've been doing more cardio.
Right.
Cut down to like 248, 250, but just leaning out, because then once we get set here, we get situated, then I get in routine, I'll make a push to get up to that 280, 285, but I mean, just like most things, I was like, okay, well, if I can lean out a little more now that I'm back, then when I hit it, eat more, then I'll respond even more. So that's the goal, at least.
Yeah. Master of transitions here, that brings us into our topic. So I have been obsessed, me and the wife have actually been obsessed with watching these shows like Family by the Ton and My 600-Pound Life. Now, mind you, these are extreme cases of obesity. They're super morbidly obese, right? Because now there's a new category, right?
Yeah.
I did want to kind of get your opinion on something because, I asked my wife this question, and then I thought about this question, and I honestly don't know what the right answer is. And it's something that I don't think anyone's asking. So, you've seen shows like that, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Is there any acceptable situation where somebody would be that big? Like, and I'm talking about where you could go, oh, well, okay, that's just the way you are.
No. I mean, could you genetically have issues or have a health issue that can make you gain weight? Yes. But to get to 400, 500, 600 pounds, no. That is pretty much just, not dealing with certain things in life, using food as a coping mechanism,
Right.
and then by eating like that, yeah, you might give yourself, diabetes and stuff and other things to make you gain weight quicker. But at the end of the day, no matter what health issues you have, you could control your weight where, yeah, someone might always be technically fat a little bit,
Right.
no matter what they do. But to be morbidly obese to that rate, I've never seen any research that can prove that, someone just naturally is going to get to 500, 600 pounds. Like, there's a lot of different aspects to it. Mental health, emotional health, people being enablers, and those people's lives. You see it all the time in those shows, They bring in the food because they don't want them to be upset. It makes them happy. Well, they're just making their issue worse and worse. So, but no, I've never seen anything that has proven that someone's 500 or 600 pounds because of this health issue. If they did, pretty sure, it's America. They have drugs for everything. They probably, figure that out. So,
yeah, I was thinking about it too because, I asked that question to myself. Kind of be introspective about it. Gather my own thoughts on things. I like to do that every once in a while. Ask these weird questions to myself and kind of think of an answer.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of people that say they have thyroid problems, and I know now quite a few individuals with Hashimoto's, right?
My fiance has a thyroid. She has to take thyroid medication.
Oh, she's hypo, right?
Yeah, hers was like up to 9.5. So genetically, but she was lean. But she also ate and worked her ass off.
Right.
Yeah, and she's only 20. She's only 27 when she found out. Just runs her family, but she's not 500 pounds.
See, that's something that is, I think, more people should know because hypothyroidism, in and of itself, does not usually manifest itself in weight gain in active individuals, like massive, 200-pound weight gain, right? You always see that with like the desk jockey, the person who's sitting there working at their desk, or night shift workers or shift workers usually end up who have hypothyroidism usually end up gaining weight for some reason, right? Usually, again, due to inactivity. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's moving around. Nobody's going to the gym at 1 o'clock in the morning, except for maybe us, crazy people. But it's people have this misconception about hypothyroidism, where they think that it's an excuse that everybody with hypothyroidism is 700 pounds, 600 pounds. Even 300 pounds for a female. 400 pounds for a female. That's, men, they have a lot more leeway because more muscle mass. They have the potential to, have a bigger frame, stuff like that. But some of these women on there, I was watching this one video, this one show, this one documentary where this woman was like, well, I think I have, low thyroid for me. Like she was almost suggesting that even though her thyroid was in the normal range, it was low for her. Right. And, the world just doesn't work like that. Although here in America we are, and even in the UK now, because you guys aren't immune anymore, right? You guys aren't immune to the cost of having so many super morbidly obese people, right? Now for business owners in this country, right? We have to make sure that we have doors with enough space for a wheelchair, but not a regular wheelchair, an XL wheelchair, because that person might be obese and handicapped. It's a very, very complicated issue. And you as a coach, it must drive you mad. These people throwing up excuses, throwing up reasons like someone didn't buy me a doll when I was 8 years old, and now I have emotional problems that caused me to be 600 pounds. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it comes down to, too, is like at the young age now, it's like everyone says, well, it'll be okay. Or it's not you, it's them. Right. And it's the enabler attitude of our society now.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a participation award. So, I think they enable other people to oh, it's okay to eat that. Oh, it makes you feel better, eat it. Well, then guess what? They're gonna feel more shitty every day, so they're gonna keep eating more. That's where you see a lot. People have food as a comfort, instead of going out, being active, being social. They'll just sit at home and just look forward to the food because that is the only relationship they have. That's what makes them happy. That's a huge issue as well. But as a coach, I would say like working people and stuff. Normally people I work with, I mean, they do it. I mean, if not, why are you paying the money? And I've actually had people who kind of cheat the plan, and we go our separate ways. I kind of tell them, hey, I'm done because I'm not gonna sit here and bust my ass for you just to dog it, cheat the guy, tell me wonder what the hell is going on. You should be losing weight. Like it's basic science for us.
Right.
Like if you're burning 4,000 calories and you're eating 3,500 calories, you should lose weight. So you're probably not eating what's in the diet, or you're not actually doing the cardio or the workouts or whatever.
Generally, the scale doesn't give a shit about your feelings.
No, and I think through the scale. Well, that depends if you're depending on what you're doing. Like if you're talking like the scale moving up and down if you're trying to lose weight. Sometimes it might not. It might move 1 pound, but looks like you lost 10. But in regards to the scale and say, hey, you fat ass, like, get your shit together. It just tells you a number, and then you go, oh, what do you probably do? They probably eat again, or tomorrow, or on Monday. I'm gonna start Monday.
That drives me fucking insane. I'm gonna start Monday. I'm gonna do this Monday. Right. Or I've already screwed up day 2 this week. Yeah. So I might as well wait 6 days to start.
Yeah.
It's like,
I had this one meal this one time, like that's like today because I'm moving and shit. I haven't ate all day. I had pizza and a Lenny Larry cookie. I actually like, well, better not cook and eat right tomorrow. Fuck it. I had pizza today. I better not eat right until I get to,
Yeah.
I mean, luckily I'm so damn active. Like I'm fine. But that's just an example of, because I had one meal, well, I better it's okay to have this, and then it's just a giant snowball. And next thing you know, you're up 100 pounds in the shitter. And you're depressed because you put on weight. So when you're depressed because you put on weight, what makes you feel good? Eating. And it just keeps going.
Well, let's take a step back because, when it comes down to it, you had mentioned, we've mentioned before that it all starts with, like, parents, education, parents. That is a one prong on the multifaceted issue, because if somebody, when I was younger, because, I love my dad to death, okay? Let me preface that by saying this. But we would celebrate with food, right? Yeah. We would deal with our problems with food, right? So if something bad happened, it's like, oh, well, I just need this cheeseburger, or, I'm sorry that happened to you. Let me take you out to eat, right?
Yeah, or like when you're in a game, oh, you lost, it's okay, let's go get ice cream.
Oh, you won? Let's go get ice cream.
Right. No, hey, good job, kid. Do it again. Yeah. Same thing.
I'm not saying you should never do that, but something I would encourage all the parents to do, because I'm a parent, right? I try to reward my daughter with activities instead of food, which is something that, like, let's go out to the park, right? That'd be like a good reward, a win-win. You can bring healthy snacks or something to the park, but it's not, let's go gorge ourselves because you deserve this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Now, as young adults, right, you have people that, their mom doesn't buy certain things, or they get their first paycheck and they blow it all on going out to eat. I mean, you deal with high school students.
Oh, yeah.
You see this all the time, right?
Yep.
It's like, well, where'd your money go? Well, $130 of it, out of my $130 paycheck, went towards Taco Bell.
Dude, the amount of Gatorade, like, kids spend on the Gatorade machine in the back hallway and shit like that, it's absurd. I mean, it's crazy how much. I mean, I throw money in food, but I buy at the grocery store. Like the amount of money they're throwing in to get a $2 Gatorade, a $2 protein bar. It's just no sense of money. Or when they get the check, they have to go. They buy shoes and spend all their money on one.
Yeah.
That comes down to, once again, though, just like eating, that comes down to parenting thing and understanding the value of money and of food.
And something I've noticed, and I've watched multiple documentaries and multiple shows and everything like that. Now, I have not had the privilege of coaching anybody, but this is from what I've seen, right? You'll find that on the psychological side, most of the people who become overweight or super obese or just extremely out of shape have very poor coping mechanisms from a mental health standpoint, right?
Exactly. Yep.
So, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, people who've quit cigarettes, you keep doing you. You are amazing. Quitting cigarettes, I know, is a hard thing to do because there's that physical hook and then the mental hook of you having. But this is the way that I know how to explain it, right? Because everybody can wrap their head around, because everybody pretty much knows somebody who's quit smoking, right? So you have a smoker who's been smoking for 10 years, like a pack a day. Every time they get upset, they go have a cigarette. Every time they enjoy themselves, go have a cigarette. Every time they eat, they go have a cigarette. And they get used to a couple different things. They get used to the oral fixation of having the cigarette, the feeling of relief after that first drag, and stuff like that. And it's the same way with super obese people and food. They get that same reward, right? The only difference is what I try to, and this is why I don't hate super obese people, like I feel for them. I really do. I'm not one of those guys who's in the fitness industry who just says, I know Jamie Lewis is like, call the fatties and stuff like that. I'm more of the understanding. I'm like his anger translator. I'm a sensitivity translator. He's joked about that in a previous episode. But, they have that same fixation with food. The difference is with something like nicotine, you can abstain. You can't abstain from food, right?
No.
Which makes food addiction and food, if you can call it that, I think we're okay to call it that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, because
you think that's a thing?
Food addiction, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, food addiction and obsessiveness over the way they're eating and the lack of coping mechanisms, you can avoid your fix because you need food to live.
Yep.
I will say that there's another movement that has kind of bred and kind of preyed on this, which is not all, but some of the fat acceptance and body positivity people on the internet, some of the groups. What are your thoughts on that? Because I'd be interested to hear that.
Like in the people who get together and think it's it's okay to do this.
Well, not even that. There's influencers that are telling people you should become, like there's a couple of influencers. I'm not saying everybody is, but
yeah. Well, I saw the one. You see the one. This lady who gets paid to like eat, and guys like find it attractive, and like she would eat from my camera while like stripping and stuff, and that is people influence her that like they like her fat or big, so she claims she has to eat to maintain a look because people like it, But I do think people say, "Oh, it's okay, as long as you're happy, that's all that matters." And you just do what's going to make you happy. So go ahead and keep eating. When in all reality, I think it's a mental weakness thing, and that those groups of people, they just enable that person to keep going, even though they probably. The worst part is people who do that are not obese.
Yeah.
Like, they're healthy people, but they're saying, oh, it's okay because it's not actually them. They can't relate necessarily. But I think a lot of people, it just comes down to like a mental toughness. There's a great book I've been reading called Can't Hurt Me. And he was fat. And he lost weight. And he had what's called the accountability mirror, where he just went in the mirror one day and just cussed himself out. And ever since then, he used that as an accountability mirror. And he was fat. He's like, he just said, hey, you fat fuck, you need to lose weight. You're a piece of, like, he says in the book. And he went from 300 pounds down to like 180 to make
wow.
to get in the to get into the Navy. I'm there right now, part of the book, but he lost it. He had like 2 or 3 months to lose 100 and some pounds, and he just he did some stuff that's like mentally not healthy, like pretty crazy. But he just showed like what the mind can do if you actually want to do it, and how to lose the weight. And it's just an accountability, holding yourself accountable for what you're doing to yourself and accepting that what you've done maybe isn't right, and then, okay, now how do I fix it? Instead of just keep on going down that path, you know?
Yeah. You know, coming from that end of the spectrum, where I also lost a significant amount of weight, I've talked about it probably enough to make people nauseous on this channel. But coming from that end, I kind of have to agree with that guy and with the way that he did things, because, look, you're super morbidly obese, and I get that losing weight too fast, everybody's so freaked out about that, and it's almost like a paralysis, because they want to lose about a pound a week, right? But if you're super morbidly obese, you can afford to lose 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds a week, and it's not going to be detrimental to your health at all. Now, I happen to have gallstones beforehand. Losing weight made the gallstones or my gallbladder worse, and I had to have that, of course, removed. You know, I had a pretty severe gallbladder attack, but I don't regret a damn thing. I don't regret going through the drastic caloric restriction that I went through. I don't regret throwing a shit ton of exercise at it, right? Because, you know, when you are that big, it does take a bit of a jolt to start that momentum, right? Yep. But that's exactly what I was going off of, man. I was going off pure momentum and adrenaline, you know? And it's like, why drag out something like 100-pound weight loss, you know?
Right.
There's no reason. And whenever I lost the weight, the comments about it kind of got addicting, you know? So maybe that's a little bit of the mental problems that I have or whatever, but I will tell you something. Whenever someone comes over to your house, you know, over there at my mom's house, multiple times a week, and they're telling me, man, you look so good. Man, you look blah, blah, blah. You actually have a jawline, you know, because I used to be Mr. Triple Chin. But it's just, it is what got me hooked. And, you know, one of the dangers behind the fat acceptance and the body positivity movement that I have a problem with is it keeps people who already have health problems in that state, right? Yeah. I'm not saying all the people, but I'm saying a lot of the people. Do you know where body positivity came from?
No, I don't.
Burn victims, amputees, people with genetic abnormal things like growths and stuff, abnormalities.
Yes.
That sort of stuff, being comfortable in your own skin, and that is a movement that I can 100% get behind. If you're an amputee and you had something horrible happen to you, or you were just born with like webbed feet, like it's fine. Like if you want to get it removed, fine. But otherwise, nobody cares about your little webbed toes. You know, like you should be comfortable in your own skin.
Yep.
But on the opposite end of that, it's just like when the internet was invented. The internet was invented, and people loved chat rooms, and they loved the things that came with it. And then, like, this group of people was like, hey, we like to fuck pigs. Right? And then, like, without the internet, you would be in your hometown, or you'd be in a place, and they'd say, hey, you should probably stop fucking pigs. That's weird. Like, stop doing that. Like, it's not healthy. Don't fucking do it. Don't fuck pigs. And then the internet came around, and they're like, "Oh, well, I like to fuck pigs too. Right. I like to." And now there's like Pig Fuckers Anonymous as a website, buying that domain pretty soon. But it is one of those things where you have a bunch of people coming together, all positively reinforcing bad behavior, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you don't see this with just fat acceptance. You see this with drug forums, right? Where people do meth, and they're sitting there going, "You go, buddy," and this is my experiences, and all that stuff. And you see this with other harmful things. You even see that with, within our industry, there's certain unhealthy diet movements, right? Like somebody will be super morbidly obese, they'll go on the cabbage soup diet or some bullshit diet like that. They do a crash diet, and then they end up gaining the weight back because they don't realize that it's a lifestyle change,
Well, that's the thing too. The store I work at, part time, people will come in and like they'll be obese or overweight, and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm doing keto," and it's just like it's so frustrating because they think they're doing keto, they're not doing keto, or they're eating a bunch of bacon and shit and dairy, but they're doing it as a quick fix, and they don't realize the keto diet is very, very, very hard to make a lifestyle diet of that. They think it's a quick fix, so now, they lose weight, so they cut all the carbs out. 5 weeks later, they eat carbs, they blow up and put on more, and they wonder why. Because it's not a lifestyle type of diet. It's a keto's. I don't want to say it's a crash diet, but if you go from eating a ton of carbs rather than none, you're gonna lose weight. But it's not. It's something you can't really maintain in our current society for your lifetime to keep those. Unless you pack every single thing ever or never leave your house.
Well, it's not only that, but just like the majority of someone who personal trains, their clients are going to be somebody who's not interested in having a full ripped 8-pack. They're not going to be interested in growing, 21-inch arms, right? They're going to be interested in looking better, right? Mm-hmm. And for most people who chase that quick fix, right, they see results for it, and then they do cycles of that diet. They do this, I'm going to do 8 weeks of keto, I've lost 10 pounds, I'm going to come off now. Oh no, I've gained 16 back. I need to do another cycle of keto. And then they're in this endless rabbit hole of the same dietary changes that ended up getting them a net of 0 results, right?
Pretty much.
Because they refuse to understand that, first and foremost, if you have a problem with, and I'm talking literally eating yourself into an early grave, you probably need to have a no foods list, right? Like this is clinicians and dietitians and psychiatrists and all that stuff agree that like trigger foods are a thing for people that big,
Yep.
I cannot reasonably measure donuts, right? Because donuts is one of my foods that I just can't get enough of. You're talking about Dunkin' Donuts. My mouth started fucking watering. And I'm sitting here regretting that I got in the fitness industry. Like, I'm sitting here like, give me some fucking donuts.
Yep.
Now, I'm strong enough now to have 1 donut, to have 2 donuts, whatever I can fit in, right? Into my energy needs for the day. Mm-hmm. But when I was bigger, first starting this diet, or first starting this lifestyle, that would have been a no-go for me. What are your opinions on that? Like, do you think, first and foremost, because in my opinion, the rules kind of change when you're fit, right? But before you're fit, I know there's no such thing as good and bad foods. Like, people are on the fence about that. It's a controversial topic, whatever. What are your opinions on stuff like that? Like, should they trigger foods? Do you believe that they're a real thing for people?
Yeah, I do. I think, if someone's going to lose weight that drastic, it's got to be all or nothing. Like, you get nothing of what you're used to eating until you've hit an extreme goal to where you're almost to where they become addicted to the results and they don't even want that food. Or, yes, they'll have 1 or 2 of them be like, oh, shit, I don't want to gain the weight back I lost, and they'll stop. Right. But I do believe if you try to do that, you give somebody their foods 2 weeks into a diet that they're used to, they're going to trigger them, downhill slide. No doubt about it. No question there, for sure. Which is, it takes a lot of mental discipline, you gotta be kind of fucked up to have a, like, I've been dieting, and I love donuts too. I would chew them and spit them out in the garbage. Because at the end of the day, they don't fill you up. It's just the taste. So I literally would chew it, spit it out, and wouldn't swallow the donut. You know, so the mental discipline is so hard to where I keep it out of people's diets until they've lost enough and they're kind of addicted to their results, to where then I will, okay, you can have one now. You know, maybe after weeks, 3-4 weeks. So if they do go out the deep end for one meal, well, it might actually help them, you know, if it's done right. So,
yeah. Well, you know, when it comes down to the whole extreme weight loss thing, because I know that's not the majority of our listeners, but if you have anybody in your life, something you've got to explain to them that if they need to go through this weight loss is, you know, if they're into the whole body positivity thing, especially like the parts, you should want to make sure that if you are really positive about your body and comfortable within your own skin, you need to make sure. The way I would like the body positivity movement to kind of push is like healthy body, you know? Because if you're really in love with your body, you want to make sure that son of a gun is firing on all cylinders. You want to leave no rock unturned.
yeah.
And with as much, and I think there's a lot of good going on right now. People are healthier in their diets than ever because we've kind of went from extreme dieting to if it fits your macros all the way down to, you know, now people are actually if it fits your macros plus vegetables plus, you know, all the good stuff that we've been telling them they should for years, and not just, you know, well, I got some carbs, I got the donuts, I'm going to fill in these carbs, donuts, you know. That stuff drove me crazy, you know. And it's not that it doesn't work because, you know, for the most part, people don't have a weight loss problem, right? People lose weight all the time. It's keeping it off.
It's a consistency problem. It's a discipline problem. It is this problem right here, because it's not easy, because it's very hard. You go out in public, people don't like being judged because they eat, when they're out here, they eat these foods and no one else is, you know. But at the end of the day, I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of just got to say, fuck it, and worry about yourself. And in regards to being healthy, when you make that life change and you're around those friends that you used to be around when you were fat or heavier, and they try to get you to go out and eat these foods, that's when you kind of have to say, hey, you're still my friends, but obviously you must not care about me enough to support my weight loss goals. So you kind of just got to give them the middle finger and stay focused.
See, I think that's a little cop-out now, too, because, you know, there's so many healthy options at restaurants. Like, if you know what you're fucking doing, you can order the seasonal vegetables with a steak at most restaurants and be pretty fucking good. If you have the
slightest idea, you don't even have to know what you're doing to the level that we do. If you have the slightest idea, you're fine. The problem is, people don't know what a protein, carb, and fat is. Fucking grown adults.
Still?
Grown adults don't know what a carb is or what a protein source is. Well, what's a protein? Peanut butter? I'm like, no. It has protein, yes, but that is not a whole protein source. I'm like, you know, eggs, fish, meat, chicken, you know, all that. And they're like, oh. And I'm thinking, is this real?
Have you had any clients that were completely dumbfounded whenever they came into working with you and then left with some knowledge nuggets? Like,
yeah, I mean, I've had people like, I'm like, okay, do you want just your macros per meal? And pick what you want, or you want an exact meal? And they're like, okay, I just want a macro. So I'll give them macros per meal, like protein, carbs, and fat per meal. I'll give them a list of stuff to eat, and they go, okay, so what can I eat from my protein source? They go, I don't know, steak, chicken, fish, eggs. Oh, okay, I know that's protein. And I'm just like, oh. So I'm just giving them an exact foods to eat. But yes, that has happened where they don't realize what a protein source is. Yeah. You think about it in general, America, we're a very carb-based diet as a society.
Yeah.
People eat probably 80%, 70% carb.
I'm not kidding you, by the way. This last night we watched an episode of 600 Pound Life, or My 600 Pound Life. By the way, these shows should be shown on every network. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
Because they're what they do and what they make you realize are important. And there's not enough shows like that out there. But we were watching this one episode. This chick was eating sugar and butter mixed together in a plate. Like, that is exactly the wrong thing to do. Don't do that. Although I got slightly curious, so it's on the list of things to try. But it is fucking weird. Like,
really weird. Butter and sugar. That's fuck.
But that's what most of our food here in America is made out of.
Right.
Carbs and fat. And with as much that I know about nutrition, there's not one thing to blame, because it's pretty simple at the end of the day. You have an energy intake, you're in a deficit, you can lose weight, right? I'm also of the belief that you have this energy need, you go in a deficit, and you make the right food choices, and it accentuates those results, right?
Yeah.
So you can lose weight eating breakfast cereal for every meal, and, as long as your energy is in a deficit, right? But if you have vegetables and lean protein sources and stuff like that, your results are going to be so much better than just eating the Captain Crunch that you are so in love with, and you have your mouth all cut to shit, and it's not a good situation. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, you can lose weight because you're going to put yourself in a caloric deficit, but now you're not going to be eat as much volume of food, and at the end of the day, you aren't going to get as good of results as you would eating whole food, nutritious food, and that's healthier.
Right. Right. Also, people don't understand quality of life changes to diet either. Like, there are foods that you eat. I mean, what are some foods that you eat that make you feel more energetic when you have them regularly, that you can actually quantify? Because I have a few.
For me, I will say, like, when I have healthier fats, like when I do an MCT oil, almonds, if my fats aren't high, I actually feel less energy. Carbs anymore, when I do have them, because I've been doing just carbs pre and post workout, I literally start sweating, and they kind of make me a little tired because I'm pretty sensitive. But like I also feel like greens too. When my greens intake is pretty high, with my broccoli, my spinach and stuff, I do have a better sustained energy. My digestion and stuff is a lot better. My energy is better. It's where if I don't have those consistently, then I definitely feel a decrease in energy. And those foods, when I eat them, it's like I had an energy drink. I get a boost 20 minutes after I eat. Red meat does that to me. So, but yeah, really just sticking to like keeping my fats kind of high and just those greens. That's what I've noticed. I feel pretty good.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with you there, although I have one food specifically, and it's kind of weird because whenever I withdraw that food, I end up not having as great energy levels, and I have no quantifiable reason behind it other than it just agrees with my body. And that's bananas. Like, I absolutely fucking love bananas. I love the taste of them. I love the results from them. They have pretty good macros. They're loaded with fiber, potassium, all these good vitamins and nutrients. There's no reason for me not to include them.
Right.
But every once in a while I'll be like, I don't want to buy bananas, but I'm sure paying for it the next week or two.
Yeah.
So I would like to get your opinion on some things because, and we can kind of close out with this. I know this has been a short episode, guys. But I think this next part will kind of get into the weeds here. What is your opinion on intuitive eating?
Give me an example. Like,
For those of you who are unaware, intuitive eating, huh?
No, go ahead. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. Go ahead.
For those of you who are unaware, intuitive eating is literally eating whenever you feel hungry instead of relying on feelings of boredom and stuff like that, right? So, what are your opinions on that?
I think it happens all the time. I think people, they don't keep themselves entertained or thinking and doing things to stay busy and active. So they're always eating. I mean, you think about it. I'm so busy. I'm sure you are too. I have to remind myself, oh shit, eat, because
All the
I'm
time.
so busy. But when I'm bored and I'm sitting around, I'm like, damn, I just want to eat something. I'm not in, but you're not hungry. So I think it happens all the time. And that's a huge issue. People with a desk job, or they're just sitting there all day. They get bored from doing the same thing, and they're just snacking nonstop because they're bored. Or people, they get home from work and they shut down from 5 o'clock till they go to bed. They lay around and watch TV. They're bored. What are they doing? They're grazing, eating the whole time instead of keeping themselves active and busy. And then you literally eat only because you're like, shit, I'm starving. Like, I have to eat. You know, my energy's down. So, yeah.
My opinions on intuitive eating is, it is literally, I'm going to piss off some people by saying this. It's dog shit. You have somebody who's super morbidly obese, they've been intuitively eating for their entire existence. And that's how they got there. Right?
Can I, one second?
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead. My fiance just texted me and she forgot the code of the door. So instead of getting up and opening it, I'm texting her the code on my watch. Yes, I'm lazy. It's 2019. I don't want to leave the podcast, so
you're smart. And we're not going to edit this, so I can't clip them together. Right. But intuitive eating is one of those things where if you're super morbidly obese, anyone who suggests that you intuitively eat wants the worst for you, or they just don't know any better, because you've literally been intuitively eating yourself to 600 pounds. And for me specifically, with an actual issue with ghrelin and leptin, if I intuitively eat, we would not be able to afford the house that we live in, right? I think that for people's natural settling point, which there's some argument right now about your natural settling point being what you should be at, as if there were no environmental factors, which is, again, bullshit, right? Yeah. Because you can be at, like, when you're born, you could be at a settling point of like 130 pounds when you grow up, and then your mom becomes a chef, and every night she brings you home apple or cherry pie, and all of a sudden, like, you get this nostalgia over apple and cherry pie, and then you get a love of sweets, and then, I mean, that's an environmental factor. That's a psychological environmental factor that made you more susceptible to eating sweets and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So, intuitive eating, if you're doing it and you're seeing results from it, I'm not here to tell you what you're doing is wrong, but if you're thinking about doing intuitive eating and you feel that it's a healthy way to lose weight or even gain muscle, I think that that's where people get in trouble. Because you yourself, you used to be skinny, right? You started from a different point than I did. Mm-hmm. You were skinny, and then you bodybuild your way up, and you force feed a lot and everything like that in order to get the body composition changes you want. And even now, you're dieting. Intuitively, you want to stuff your face at multiple times during the day.
Right.
While you're dieting, everything tastes better, right?
Oh, smell it. You can't. When I'm dieting hard for a prep, dude, I can smell food from 5 miles away. It's crazy how much heightened your senses get, and you look at stuff and like, wow, that probably tastes so good. Then when you can eat it, you're like, that doesn't taste good at all. But when you're dieting that hard, you just see stuff and you intuitively just want to do it. You want to eat it, just like you're saying, and that's where it's mind over matter.
Yeah.
But people it's easy to get in. It's easy to fold to do that.
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, okay, well, I just won't eat. If you were to do it, like, okay, well, I'll eat this carb now, but now I'll take it out of this meal later. It'll be okay.
Right.
Kind of, and think, well, it's, so I think it's a crock of shit too. I think it just once again, it's all back to here, and you're going to get the results that you want to get, that you work for.
Yeah.
You just can't be so easily influenced,
Well, how much do you think? Because I've talked a little bit about environmental factors, but what are some of the environmental factors that has actually affected the way you eat? Just out of curiosity, like that you can think of off the top of your head.
I think it makes it easier to eat the way I want to now compared to 2 years ago. Not 2 years ago, compared to 10 years ago, let's say.
Right.
Okay, because, think about it now. You have no excuse. Is Subway the healthiest? No, but it's not. It's better than eating McDonald's. But you have Qdoba now. You have Chipotle. You have Viva. We have Viva Chicken.
And much better than most buffets. Literally,
right.
The amount of people that still go to buffets and expect to not just down 6,000 calories right then and there is crazy.
Right. Think about it, and this is one thing my fiance and I have talked about. When we walk into Golden Corral, people look at us like, "What the fuck are they doing here?" And we don't fit in because we're in shape, we're lean, but we fucking hammer food. I'll put down 8 plates of food. People are like, how can you eat like that? The best thing is, how can you eat like that but look that way? Well, I don't fucking do it every day. I don't do it every meal. And we get that at the grocery store. People look at us and we got ice cream and they look at us and say, how can you eat that and look that way? Because it's a balance, which everyone talks about. Balance. It's just balancing out when to have that stuff and having the discipline to only have that little bit, put it back.
Right.
But yeah, I think, and you think about it too, I feel like there aren't as many buffets. They're not as common. I feel like I don't see them as often anymore. I think
that's because the cost of food has gone up.
So you just can't afford them.
Something me and Wayne, which is the owner, CEO of Chaos and Pain, he was talking to me before about bodybuilders of the 90s going and talking about, eating out all the time, like to carb up to their shows and stuff like that, where a cheeseburger and fry, even when he was in college, right, for football, cheeseburger, fries, all that stuff, $5. Now it's 12, 13, so something else that I can kind of spread the message here on this cast is going out to eat is not only harmful to your wallet, but it can also be harmful to your waistline. I know that sounded like a clickbait title to a blog post, but but yeah, it's one of those things where they're trying to cut costs. The food industry is having trouble, making up for the cost of beef and chicken and all that stuff. So especially because there's so many different things now. Like it used to be chicken, right? Now it's organic chicken, hormone-free chicken, chicken that was raised by hippies and let roam around free in their living room and shit all over the floor. And now they're the most healthy chickens ever because they were fed decimated liver. They
didn't live a stressed lifestyle,
yeah. But
also
if they're in Colorado, like these are marijuana infused chicken breasts. But it's so crazy they can't catch up. But I'm kind of happy with buffets going away because one of the things I think buffets do is they encourage that kind of behavior. And I'm not telling anybody how to run a business, but there's got to be some buck. There's got to be some buck against this stuff, and this is why I kind of wanted to cover this on the Hatecast with you because you're somebody in the trenches. You're training people, right?
Right.
So you get to experience, and I'm sure that you've had a family member or something like that come up to you, ask you for fitness advice, and then whenever you tell them that there's, you know, hard work involved, their eyes just glaze over.
Everybody, not even just family, everybody. Oh, like when when I get ready for, let's say I'm doing a show and I'm peeled, 6%, 5% body fat,
shredded.
They go, man, I don't know how to look that. I'm like, well, I wake up before 15. I do 45 minutes of cardio. Then I go to work. I work all day. I take 15 to 20,000 steps a day. Then I come back. I go to the gym. I lift. And then I do another half-hour cardio. Oh, and I pack all my meals. I weigh all my food. Oh, that's just too much work.
That's just too much work.
Now, do you have to do that much? No, not to lose weight. But everyone wants, I don't have time to go to the gym 3 days a week. Okay, then get your ass up a half hour earlier and fucking walk your neighbors at a fast pace before you eat breakfast and start your day. You can get up earlier, get up when no one's sleeping. If you want to, it's a mind over matter thing. Do you think it's easy, like for yourself or for me or other people? Do you want to go to the gym every day? Fuck no. I force myself to the gym 90% of the time, I feel like, because I've been doing it for so long. It's a habit. Do I want to do cardio? No, but once I get going, I have a goal, so I get my ass going. I do it. So it literally, it's most of the time, it's a mind over matter thing. People only look healthy. They only eat certain foods because they want to stick to their goal. They have the same temptations. I have the same temptations as somebody who's overweight.
Absolutely.
Every day.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yep. But once you make it a habit and a lifestyle, like you said before, it's easier to just keep on walking and laugh. Like it ain't really, because as soon as you always eat it, you're like, fuck, that wasn't really what I thought. Or, okay, I could have just had one and been satisfied. And then once you get in that habit, then you realize, okay, I'm not going to have a cookie today because I know it's going to taste like, I know afterwards, not that I regret stuff, but I'm like, I know it's going to set me back. I'll wait until I'm scheduled to have that cheat, or whatever it is.
Well, it's kind of like paying your rent and having extra money around. It's like, well, I don't have any extra money around, so I'm going to wait until the paycheck comes in so that I can do the thing I want to do. Like, that's exactly what it's like. And people overcomplicate this stuff all the time. Like, all weight loss or getting fit or something like that is checks and balances. Some of us just have those more in order than somebody else,
Yeah.
They have, apps to do all this stuff for you now. Like, if you're not using your fucking smartphone for anything other than calling and texting, I've got news for you. Just like he was using his watch, his fancy watch. It's 2019. They have fit apps. They have reminder apps. Get up. Do your cardio. This is your workout plan for the day. Do you know how many free... if you guys are interested in these a good free program for everybody to install on their phone and have that will give them daily workouts, right? Fitocracy. Right? I think that's what it's called, although I'll link it in the description box. They have like workout plans and they have all this stuff. It shows you how to do it, has a little video, and then you just do that, right? If everyone did that, everyone with a smartphone, I can guarantee you we wouldn't have as big of a weight problem as we have right now. Plus, people get in their vehicle. We saw this in our other fucking apartment. People get in their vehicle to go to the trash can on the other side of the apartment building. Literally, they get in their vehicle, waste gas money, waste time getting into their vehicle, just so that they can drive their one trash bag over to the dumpster.
Okay, I'm glad you specified, because I used to do that shit, but it was like 4 trash bags. It wasn't one.
Okay.
But I was in the back of my truck. I was like, oh, damn, he's about to rip into me here. But one
trash bag
over there. But people.
And it's all young people. It's all young people with no physical activity whatsoever in their life. And like we watched. For fuck's sake, we saw this guy in our old apartment building that had a cane. He was missing a fucking leg, right?
Yeah.
He walked over there to get his trash in there. Right? Those stupid little things that we all take for granted because we have cars and everything else, right, are the things that could probably help us the most. Now, I know this podcast has been bigger or obese or whatever centric, and I want to kind of preface the end here because I think we're going to wrap up. You got dogs and your fiance's home, and I'm sure she wants to have time with you and everything. So
no, this is the break. It's much needed. So.
This is the break.
I'm avoiding unpacking, so this is great. This is and
perfect.
She's upstairs, so she can't hear me, I think. So this is fantastic.
No, she peeked in there for a second.
Yeah. So
yeah. I'm sure we'll get the finger.
Yeah. I heard she'll probably flex on me and embarrass me.
Oh yeah, no, I mean definitely. But I will say that everyone here at Cast and Pain, if you have weight loss goals, please, if you are in our secret Facebook group or you're in our forum, which I will link because it's not currently findable on the website. We do have
follow
live.
Instagram.
Huh?
Follow Instagram.
If you contact us on Instagram, we will help you within whatever we can do to help you meet your weight loss goals. Okay?
And don't think to people that we're not going to say, oh, we'll also take Red Sky to lose weight too and order protein.
Well, sure, but we're also going to do the basics.
We'll give it to you.
You know?
We'll give you information. At the end of the day, we all know food's the most important.
Right.
You got to start with food. You can't just take the fat burn and expect it to work. You got to get the diet down so that it works better. But reach out to us and we'll give you advice. And you don't have to feel like you have to be forced to buy a product, because then once you get rolling with it, you come back and then you get it, and we can help you with that aspect as well. But don't be afraid to ask for advice.
Yeah.
Just so you think we're going to push something on you, because that's
also, if you want to just not deal with any of that stuff and you want to hire a coach, you're looking at one. Ryan is a coach. So go ahead and give him an email. We will cover some of this stuff in a later Hatecast, because I want to do a follow-up on this one once I get some more thoughts together, because I want to talk about the diet culture and some diets that you think should be burned and thrown away forever and never talked about again, right?
Yeah.
And
we'll get some feedback too.
Yeah, we'll get some
feedback. Give us feedback.
I also want to talk about, if you guys are interested in, I want to talk about some tips for not only the obese, but the super skinny, because there's some health effects that come with that. And and I also want to cover like the love-hate relationship you have with prep and what it takes to go through that, and what are some sacrifices that you've made going through prep, and we can cover that in a different video. But I will close out by saying this. When it comes to the body positivity movement, if you love your body, you should be willing to, or you should be wanting to, make sure that your mind, body, and soul all are optimized. And the health at every size movement, are you familiar with this?
No, I don't think so. I have an idea though. It kind of explains itself when you say the name.
Okay. The health at every size, for those of you who are uneducated on the issue, is the basically bigger people with perfect blood work. Right? They exist.
Example, my father is obese, and he went to the doctor 2 years ago, and they said, "Oh, can you come back in a week?" And my dad said, "Why?" Like, "Well, you're healthy, but we just think it's, my dad goes, "It's because I'm fat. It's weird I'm healthy." And he is obese, and he is perfectly healthy. Cholesterol, cardiovascular, everything. Right. He's still losing. Now he's starting to go to the pool and lose weight. But that's a prime example. They didn't know what to do because he is visibly obese, and he was perfectly healthy.
But at the same time, I would very much like, and I want to close out on this because it's probably going to get us the most heat, everyone to know that movement in itself is dangerous, and you will not be healthy at every size forever. That is a complete bullshit argument. People who are promoting plus-size models, which, by the way, I have no problem with plus-size models. Keep showing them things, girls. But that is something that they're using in order to justify their lifestyle.
Yes. Long term, it will. You might be okay for 10, 20, 30 years. But eventually, the standard that it is going to have negative effects. Same with also being too lean all
Correct.
the time, nonstop. So it goes hand in hand.
Goes hand in hand. So I know this episode is going to ruffle some feathers. We're going to post it anyway. If you have any feedback on this episode and you'd like us to cover more topics like this, please let us know in the comment section below, because I am fired the fuck up. Go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. However, if you're listening to this on SoundCloud or another platform, hi, how you doing? Go ahead and toss us a follow. Like this video if you like this video. If you dislike this video, I don't know what to tell you, but you should probably just go ahead and like it anyway. I mean, that would help us. And we will see you.
Don't worry. We like everybody.
We do like everybody. We don't hate people. This is just
opinions.
Just opinions.
Yep.
Calm your titties. Men and women. I'm not here to judge. Moobs matter. We will see you in the next one.
Conan, what is best in life? Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women. That is good.
Too many thoughts on my mind, I can't sleep at night, so I just keep writing. I don't need no help, I don't need opinions, so don't waste my time then. I just been living online, my city don't show me no loving, that's fine. Fuck local radio stations, I got more plays than all of these rappers combined. I'm going again, I've been going in, I'm fed up with so many things, I gotta just let it all out. I'm talking about the shit they've been talking about, telling me I should do this, telling me I should do that, telling me things about rap, talking the truth and that stab in my back, that will knock me off track. No, too many things have been building, been hard to deal with, I just been drinking. Remember my moves in the past, I'm wondering what was I thinking. Lately I'm living in fear, wondering what if the end is so near. All of this shit going on, the shootings are strong, one shot to the head and I'm gone. I'm losing control but I can't let it go, cause I'm trying to get more. And I've been in the moment, I've been in the zone, and I'm moving alone. I don't pick up the phone when my family call, I've been doing it wrong and I don't know what's happening. Trying to get what I just been imagining, getting close and I just been examining all of the fake shit the game has been packaging.
Power pleases you, Crown. So grant me one request. Grant me revenge. And if you do not listen, then the hell with you.
I come from a town where most of the people are so close-minded. They go into school and they work in a job but they don't even like it. I won't be put in a box, nobody telling me what I should rock, nobody telling me what I should drop, cause I do what I want and just know I don't stop. Recording till 4 in the morning, they snoring, I'm pouring my soul into every story. I'm writing, producing, I mix it, I master, I'm building my craft and I'm not looking back. I've been going doing things I wanna do when I want to. Everybody wanna get away but they not do. Everybody wanna copy you but they not you. Everybody wanna be cool but they not new. Whoa, look how I go, gonna be a dentist, I still got the flow. Never gonna lose cause I'm still doing both. Never gonna lose cause I've been on the road. Come to your state and I'm killing the show. Know that I'm young and I still gotta grow. Know that I'm working the most, know I'm never gonna choke, and I'm looking back down on the people below.
I've been keeping real, I've been doing what I feel. I've been out here trying to kill every beat I know